Everyone, welcome. My name is Raul Melendez, and this is MPA545 Conflict Resolution and Labor Negotiation. Today, I will present on conflict management system design and workplace training within government agencies. This presentation integrates four professional resources and applies their concepts to a government workplace conflict scenario. I will then provide a recommendation of a structured conflict management system and a targeted training model to support long term prevention of escalation. The first resource is Chapter 8 of our course textbook, Collaborative Approaches to Resolving Conflict, titled Designing Systems for Conflict Management by Eisenhart and Spangel. According to the authors, organizations should intentionally design structured systems to prevent, resolve, and contain conflict before it escalates into formal grievances or litigation. They also emphasize a layered approach that begins with informal discussion and negotiation before moving towards mediation, arbitration, or formal adjudication. This system based design reduces organizational costs and protects professional relationships by addressing conflict early and at the appropriate level of intervention. The second resource is Chapter 9 of our course textbook titled Training and Education by Eisenhart and Spangel. In Chapter 9, the authors distinguish between training, which develops practical conflict management skills, and education, which builds awareness about the causes and dynamics of conflict. They argue that sustainable conflict management requires both structured systems and ongoing interactive learning. Leadership support and consistent training ensures that employees understand how to use the conflict management system effectively. The third resource is a peer reviewed journal article by Lisa Bingham titled Employment Dispute Resolution: The Case for Mediation. In this article, the author examines how employment dispute resolution systems function across the United States, particularly within public and federal agencies. The article highlights that the growing use of mediation as an alternative to traditional arbitration and litigation. Bingham explains that mediation tends to produce higher settlement rates, faster resolution, and stronger perceptions of fairness among employees and managers. The research also shows that federal agencies using mediation experienced significant reduction in processing time and improved participation or participant satisfaction. The author ultimately argues that when mediation is intentionally integrated into a structured conflict management system, it improves efficiency, reduces costs, and strengthens workplace relationships. This supports the recommendation to make mediation a core component of conflict systems design in government agencies. The fourth resource is a professional video from Harvard's program on negotiation explaining dispute system design. The video emphasizes that organizations should build integrated conflict management systems that provide multiple options for resolving disputes. These systems combine rights based processes such as arbitration with interest based approaches such as mediation and negotiation. The goal is to shift organizational culture towards early resolution and preventative and prevention rather than reaction. A conflict scenario that could occur within a government agency may involve a supervisor issuing formal disciplinary action to an employee for repeated tardiness. The employee believes that other employees with similar attendance issues were not disciplined and feels that workplace policies were applied inconsistently. As a result, the employee may interpret the action as unfair or potentially discriminatory treatment. If the issue is not addressed early through informal discussion or mediation, the employee could file a formal equal opportunity or equal employment opportunity complaint alleging discriminatory or disparate treatment. Once a formal equal employment opportunity complaint is filed, the situation becomes investigative and more adversarial in nature, increasing administrative costs and negatively impacting workplace morale. This demonstrates why agencies must prioritize early intervention before escalation occurs. Based on the four resources, I recommend implementing an integrated conflict management system structured in three tiers of intervention. This structure represents a progressive escalation model, meaning that the conflict is addressed at the lowest appropriate level before moving to more formal processes. This approach directly reflects the layered system of intervention described in Chapter 8 of our course textbook, where conflict moves from informal discussion to assisted resolution, and only then to formal adjudication if necessary. For example, Tier 1 focuses on informal discussion and supervisor coaching, allowing concerns to be addressed early before positions become entrenched. If the issue remains unresolved, Tier 2 offers voluntary mediation facilitated by a trained neutral party. If mediation is unsuccessful, Tier 3 provides formal review or arbitration. By using this progressive escalation model, the agency promotes early resolution, reduces unnecessary escalation, and still prevents formal protection when they are needed. In addition to system design, agencies must invest in structured training and education, as emphasized in Chapter 9. Training should focus on developing communication and active listening skills, mediation fundamentals for supervisors, and negotiation strategies. Education should include culture awareness and bias recognitions to prevent misunderstanding that often lead to escalation. Scenario based learning tailored to government workplace situations can make the training practical and relevant. This combination strengthens both prevention and resolution efforts within the public agencies. So, in conclusion, this presentation emphasizes prevention over escalation as the guiding principle of conflict management in government agencies. Rather than allowing conflict to immediately move into formal or adversarial processes, agencies should prioritize early intervention and structured dialogue. Mediation serves as the core mechanism within this framework because it provides a neutral and structural environment for resolution before matters become formal complaints. However, mediation alone is not enough. Sustainable conflict management requires the integration of both systems design and ongoing training, as emphasized in chapters 8 and 9. When structured systems and leadership support uh, training work together, agencies promote long-term organizational stability, reduce administrative costs, and protects ultimately the workplace morale. Here are the references utilized for this presentation. Thank you so much for watching.